Well, we get an awful lot of companies writing to us telling us what they're doing for their employees. And one particular email has absolutely stood out to us this Ramadan. We are speaking to a company that has just finished an 87-day Employee Carnival. That is nearly 4 months. Stuart Harrison is the CEO of facilities management company Emerald. Thank you so much for joining us, Stuart.
Thanks. Yeah, good morning.
This is quite exceptional. Before we go into all the things that are in it, and I have a lovely list of the things that are in it, tell me first off why you have an 87-day Employee Carnival in the first place.
Because we've got nearly 12,000 employees now, and we've got so many activities that we want to get in. So that's how long it takes. So there's a whole load of sports, there's a whole load of games, everything from chess to cricket to football to soccer to a cooking competition. And what we try and do is take advantage of the weather as well. So when it's nice and cool in the winter, we can go and play sports outside, and we can do all that kind of stuff. So it takes 87 days to get through it all.
So who's taking part in it?
Well, all of our workforce. So and most people engage in at least more than one thing as well. So like I said, we've got everything from a talent competition, a cooking competition, to cricket, to football, running. Everything's in there. So I think pretty much all of our workforce will take part in at least one thing.
Is it expected? Is it the sort of unofficial three-line whip that you do have to?
No. It's completely voluntary, and I'm sure there'd be a great uproar if we didn't do it, because you've got a lot of people working away from home, and they really, really enjoy the team sports and the individual stuff as well. So it's really kind of giving people something to do outside of work, and sometimes during work hours as well. Sometimes we stop work for these things as well.
That was going to be my question, actually. This is taking up nearly a quarter of a year.
Yeah.
Does the same amount of actual work get done?
Well, and that's the thing. So there's not really a dividing line between what we call work and what we, the stuff that we do as well. So whether it's the CEO challenge, which is you've got to beat me at something, or whether it's part of the carnival, this is part of our working day. So it's, it might be 2:00 where we're trying to solve a problem for a building engineering situation, and at 4:00 we're away having a game of cricket. So we kind of managed to fit it in.
Yeah, I've got some questions about some of the events that you have got. You've got a selfie competition?
Yes, yeah, we do, yeah.
Cooking competition, what are you cooking?
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, it's. I guess it's for you to decide what you think will win a competition.
And Mr. and Mrs. Emerald.
Yeah, so that's kind of traditional, might be frowned on in some places, but people still really like that. So yeah, it's a kind of the guys, it's centered around, I guess, bodybuilding, that kind of a thing. Those guys work really, really hard in the gym, and the ladies is kind of a more traditional sort of like a little bit of a dance and a kind of traditional sort of pageant type thing.
Okay, so it's a beauty pageant.
I guess, yeah. Although, yeah, it's more about talent than kind of, because you got to be careful. How you kind of run things these days. But yeah, I guess so.
I'm a cynic who has built a lot of rafts out of like empty plastic drinks bottles and a metre of rope before on corporate team building. How do you make sure that this is something that people want to do?
Well, we talk to them. So, I mean, Emerald's run very much like a family. And it genuinely is. It's not a cliche. Well, it kind of is a cliche, but it's the truth. So we talk to people and we ask them what they want. And sometimes we just come up with ideas. So, I mean, the carnival's been running now for years. It's been going on for way more than a decade, and people just engage in it anyway. In fact, they start asking, as the weather starts, as we head towards, the cooler weather, people start asking, when's the carnival going to start? What's available this year? Because every year we mix it up a little bit and we throw some different ideas. And a lot of those ideas come from our workforce. So for example, we introduced cooking in our accommodation about 18 months ago, and they then decided that they wanted a cooking competition. So it gets driven from kind of what's around them.
Prizes?
Yeah, there's everything from monetary prizes to kind of trophies and things, but it's more about the pride, I think.
Let's talk about it from a business point of view. How much do you invest in doing this every year?
Well, I don't want to say the exact amount, but it's a lot of money, and I guess it's just something we've always done. It's not something that we pay a lot of attention to how much it costs, although of course there's budgets for things. But what we get out of that and the engagement and the happiness of people is more important, I guess, than a few dirhams.
Do you see an impact on productivity?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, I can see it. So, if we've got a large accommodation place, we had one of the gym area, we had to close it for a couple of months ago. We were doing some refurbishment, and you could see people at work. You know, I was visiting the sites, and they were asking me, "Boss, when's the gym going to open again?" So, of course, those things are important to people because, as I said, you know, most of us are working away from home, or at least our home country, and you've got to kind of find things to do when you're not, you know, at the coalface. So, yeah, it's really important to people.
Does it then have an impact on your bottom line? Do you think that you can see this in your balance sheet?
For sure. If you've got a happy workforce, then they're all kind of plugging away. And I think I would say this even if I didn't work for Emerald. Emerald's kind of the best place that I've worked. It's got the happiest people. There's 12,000 of them. Don't take my word for it. If you see one of them in the street with an Emerald top on, just ask them, is it a good place to work? And I'm pretty sure what they'll tell you. So, yeah, it really makes a difference.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Stuart Harrison is the CEO of the facilities management company Emerald. I can actually see them around where I am living. I shall stop and do some spot quizzes on your carnival today. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Emerald's just finished what has to be the largest sort of employee event that we've ever heard of, an 87-day carnival with a closing festival.
Yes, yeah, I was there, yeah, on the stage closing. Yeah, we had there's about 6,000 people there in the stadium, yeah, when we closed it.
Thank you so much for coming in on a Friday morning. You are listening to The Business Breakfast.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.